Hi everyone, I'm DeeChiSpeaks and welcome to Faith in the Valley. This is a space where I share open, honest reflections about my own journey of recovery, healing, hope and faith. So every Wednesday I share poetic reflections. These are original poems and words that I've written in the middle of going through pain or fear or moments of hope and faith. So if you're going through your own valley right now, I hope that each poem meets you gently and that you enjoy and take hope and encouragement from these words. So without further ado, come and take a walk with me. Let's pause together. See you soon. Hello lovely souls, and welcome back to Faith in the Valley with DeeChi. Wherever you are in the world, I hope that you are well. So I'm really glad that you've joined me again today for another poetic reflection. And it's just a moment for us to slow down, to breathe deeply, and to allow the quiet spaces of life to speak to us in a much deeper way. And so every Wednesday I share an original poem that I've written, and this is based on my own healing journey. And for those of you who don't know, I have been traveling through the recovery of an unexpected back injury. And so what I've been doing is I've been sharing my reflections about how I've been feeling physically, emotionally, and spiritually too. And so these reflections are born from my own valley moments. And it's also a reflection on the hope that I'm slowly reclaiming each and every day. And so today's poem is called The Silence. And I wrote it after a moment where the quiet around me just did not feel peaceful. It felt quite piercing. And sometimes silence can feel like a comforting friend, can't it? Where it sits with you and it offers you rest and some quiet during those recovering periods of time. But in other times, especially when the pain is overwhelming and the day feels particularly hard, and also when we're navigating through really difficult things, silence can feel like an enemy. And it can also feel a little bit like an echo chamber of anxiety, of uncertainty, and just not being sure of what's going to happen next. And in those moments, it can feel like you're being reminded of how isolated you are as you travel through. And sometimes it can feel like the healing is really far away. And I suppose in this poem, I have really tried to explore both sides of silence and how God can meet us right there as well. And even in the times when the silence can feel really quite suffocating. And so let's pause for a moment and let me read the poem to you. The Silence. Silence. Sometimes it can feel like a friend that just sits quietly with you and holds your hand. Sometimes it can feel like an enemy that is waiting to devour your sanity. Right now, silence feels like an enemy. It compounds this feeling of loneliness that surrounds me. Its mantra isn't for anything good. It attempts to haunt me and break me and to remind me that I am physically going through this valley all alone. The voice of silence pricks me as if tiny shards of glass are running all over my skin. How can I begin to climb out of this silence? My body aches. My mind is bursting with 1,000 sounds. My heart beats like an untamed drum. This silence appears to have no bounds, no courtesy, to just let me be. As the pain of my body begins to race, a gentle hum erupts from my chest. I feel a warm wave of God's grace as it settles on my shoulders, taking a rest. I speak to the silence and I ask, why have you been my enemy today? Silence gathers around me and says, because you commanded me to be that way. In that moment, I was reminded that I can choose how to see things and how to navigate through. God's warm wave of grace embraced my shoulders. I will never leave or forsake you, he said. This is true. I heard God's words loud and clear, and now silence has become my friend. I am loved. I am in peace. I am waiting. My healing will arrive in the end. After I wrote this poem, I sat quietly by myself for a long time, and it struck me that the silence wasn't always the enemy. In fact, sometimes it simply reflected how I was feeling on the inside. And in that moment, God reminded me that I had a choice, and I could sit in the silence with panic, or I could meet it with prayer. And the words came to me, I will never leave or forsake you, reminded me of what's written in Deuteronomy 31 verse 6. And it states, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. That verse isn't just a promise for soldiers and kings, but it's also a promise for you, and it's a promise for me. Whether we are laying down in the hospital bed right now, whether we are in a moment of painful recovery, whether we are in the waiting, or maybe it's even in the middle of the night. And maybe today, silence isn't your enemy either. Maybe it's a space where God is simply whispering, I am here, you are not alone, and you are healing slowly but surely. And so in this reflection or poem, I hope that it really spoke to your heart today. And I would love to know in the comments below, what sort of silence feels like for you right now? And have you found peace in that silence or that quiet today? And if you haven't already, then please do download my free prayer journal through the link in the description below, or you can listen to my Whispers in the Valley poetry and prayer audio bundle, and that can give you gentle encouragement wherever you go. And until the next time, keep walking gently, be kind to yourself, and be tender with yourself. And if you would like me to share your story of your valley that you may be traveling through right now, then also please do reach out to me. My details are also in the description below. But just to remind you that you are not alone in this valley. God is with you, and your healing will definitely arrive in time. Just be patient with yourself and the process. And finally, may grace meet you exactly where you are. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Until then, take care.